Well, good evening, everyone. We're getting our live stream set up here for the evening flight. We're going to be taking a quick trip from Berlin, New Hampshire over to Burlington, Vermont, and we're going to do so in the BlackSquare Bonanza Pro. We're also going to be using Sayintentions. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Doing an audio check right now, and our stream health looks good, so looking forward to having a fly this evening. Thanks for joining. And we've already done our pre-flight, and we are taking off from Berlin Regional. So this is an untowered airfield, so we've already advised traffic of our intentions. And once we get airborne, we'll be contacting Boston Center. Anyway, this is a quick trip. I thought we would do something weather friendly in terms of lining up with seasonal kinds of activities. So it's going to be a little snowy. We'll make our way over to Burlington and have a buzz around. I guess that's what, Lake Champlain, just to the west of Burlington. Yep. So we're just going to make our way. We do have a flight plan established in little nav map. But we'll get going here with the live stream here in just a couple minutes. We'll talk about the flight. Welcome aboard. We'll go in here in a bit. And for those of you who are channel subscribers, we have been under the weather for a bit. But we're working to get back into the groove of things. So I thought this would be a good way for me, at least, to introduce the BlackSquare Bonanza, or not the Bonanza, the the Barron twin. And then we'll do a cold and dark deep dive, but we're going to have a fly in it this evening, and we'll make our way over to Burlington. I will have to say that I have been very, very pleased with both of the BlackSquare aircraft that I purchased. I got them on offer back in November, I think, as a bundle. So saved a bit of money by doing that. And we do have a review of the Bonanza over on the channel if you're interested in giving that a watch. And we didn't cover every nook and cranny. Excuse me. But we'll make our departure here in about 7 or 8 minutes. I guess while we're waiting, could translate over here to a little nav map. So this piece of software I've been using for quite a bit. So we're going to make our way out of Berlin Municipal, and if we see something interesting on the ground, we'll follow it. Roughly, our magenta line is going to take us over to Mount Mansfield, and then we'll make our approach into Burlington, Vermont. And looking at the map, there is a MOA that's restricted here. So we'll be paying attention to that. We'll stay clear. And we'll be talking most of the way over to the Burlington to Boston Center. If you haven't used a little nav map before, this is a great it's a great tool. So anyway, just thought I would kind of preview a little bit of that. And we'll switch back over to the sim. And we'll be sitting here at the end of runway 36 here. It looks like we got some weather moving in too, so I'm going to get airborne here. And I'll make adjustments to the weather because, you know, part of this is the scenery as well, right? So the real star of the show is what's on the ground or the airplane. But as I did mention just a few minutes ago, those of you who just joined, welcome. We are using Sayintentions. We're in the Beechcraft Barron Pro from BlackSquare. We're going to make our way from Berlin, New Hampshire over to Burlington, Vermont. We are ready for departure. We've already advised local traffic, so we'll be on our way here in a minute, and then we'll contact Boston Center. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Thanks for joining the stream or for watching the replay. Good to go. And we were given VFR clearance to 3,500 feet. So when we talk to Boston Center, we'll see about maintaining altitude at our own discretion. So we'll deal with the what, the who, what, when, where, and why here. Again, it's been a minute since we've done a live stream. And for those of you who are living north of the equator, it is cold and flu season. So wash those hands. Keep everybody around you healthy. Okay, so when we depart, we will be contacting Boston Center on 118.9. And we'll let them know that we are making our way, and we'll be asking for flight following. So we'll be taking care of that in short order. And we're about 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Got our transponder appropriately set as we were instructed. We are squawking 4173. And we're departing runway 36. Traffic, Berlin Regional Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu departing runway 36. Parking brake coming off. And we will make our way. And we are up. Here coming up. Here, and then we'll need to contact Boston Center out to our altitude instructions, so that'll be good. Boston Center, good morning. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu is type Cessna Barron. It's funny. Beechcraft Barron 58, requesting flight following to Burlington, Vermont.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, radar contact.
Radar contact, 3 Alpha Zulu.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, roger, radar contact.
Oh, and it looks like we've got Montreal Center instead. We are close to the border.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, contact Boston Center on 135.7.
Contacting Boston Center on 135.7, 123 Alpha Zulu. Alright, so we're airborne.
123 Alpha Zulu, Montreal Center, say again.
Oh, Montreal Center, disregard. Boston Center, good morning. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu is with you, 4,200 feet, making our way from Berlin, New Hampshire to Burlington, Vermont. Request flight following.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, you already have flight following?
Roger. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu. Boston Center, Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, requesting altitude at our discretion. Please advise.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, altitude at your discretion approved.
Altitude at our discretion approved. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu. Good morning. Making our way. And no autopilot for this flight. We'll be stick flying this one. And flaps can come up. We've done that a minute or two ago. It's okay, mistakes will be made. You're the pilot, you're the announcer, you're the cinematographer. It's all good fun. All right, let's jump outside and take in some of the scenery. Lots of trees and snow. not done a lot of flying in this part of the U.S., so this is going to be of interest to me just to see some new and different places. This will be a relatively short flight. It's a little windy today. Wind's 303 at 30 knots. Jumping outside. So we are doing the live stream in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. It's also been a minute since we've done any Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 content on the channel, so I'll put something up in the community tab and take a pulse to see what people might be interested in seeing in 2020. We are going to continue to use that sim as well. I'll also be curious if any of you are flying in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 on the PlayStation. Being really strict with the flight plan or the magenta line. I'm trying to take in some of the scenery too. We'll make our way to the west. So later this weekend or first of next week, we'll also do a Pilot's Lounge episode. We haven't done one of those in a couple of weeks. Take a look at some of the new releases and offerings that are available in the marketplace. And if you bought anything in the marketplace of late that you'd like to give a shout out to, please feel free to do so in the chat. Could get the aircraft trimmed out some too. Still fighting it a bit. There we go. That's much better. I've been trying to be a good citizen and stay out of the store for a bit. I did buy a couple of aircraft right before the end of the year. And we've also been doing some scenery development here at the Two Dogs Designs and Flying Dog House, so continue to work on that as we have the opportunity. Working on a Coast Guard station in the North Carolina coast with some custom stuff. We're looking forward to that when it's ready. And we've also stuck our toe in the water in terms of DCS, so we're starting to go down that rabbit hole. So I guess it was last year about this time, maybe a little earlier, maybe it was right before Christmas. You know, I did pick up the A10 and the F-16. for DCS, and I haven't had the opportunity to do really anything with it. So did have a little bit of a play with it a couple of days ago. I started working on getting my all of my controllers configured for the A10, so that's what I have settled on as far as my DCS journey. So that's where I'm starting. It's probably where I'm going to stay. And I'm continuing to plow my way through a 500-page user guide. I've been able to successfully get the aircraft started up and started doing some flying around, did some successful takeoffs and landings, and we're making some progress, but we got a long way to go. Once I get familiar with the airframe, then we'll move on to the other stuff that's available in the environment. But looking forward to that. So back in the day when I was working for an airline that I worked for, we did have flights that would come into Burlington, Vermont during particularly high traffic for us was during ski season. So lots of flights connecting through Newark, New Jersey and points north here. So lots of lost luggage and skis in the baggage room in Newark. And I see that Mike has joined. Good evening, Mike. Hope you're keeping well. And Mike, I would just tell you that I did talk to Peter, and he is he's about 2 weeks out for getting group flights started again in Flightsim 2020 on Saturdays. So I'll keep you in the loop as those take place. Good to have you along. I haven't flown the Barron very often, but again, I'm exploring and learning as we go. Yeah, Mike, I thought you'd like the 2020 news. I'm also going to try to help Peter out some on Saturdays. I can't do it on a consistent basis, but I can help pinch hit for him and help him out as the situation arises. He also indicated that he was going to do his own content. I don't think he's going to reuse what we're doing on Sundays, which is fine. So hopefully, once he does get those kicked up, you can touch base with him and figure out how you want to participate in that planning too. And if you want to do Sundays with us, Mike, even though you don't have 2024, please feel free to. I mean, part of the fun and the charm of that anyway is the banter that we have in Discord. But that's entirely up to you. I understand if you don't want to do it that way, but please know that you are welcome. And for those of you who don't have a Discord home for flight simulation, Virtual Flight Online is a great place to be. We've got group flights happening several days a week. And most of those are at 2000 UTC during the winter, 1900 UTC during the summer. But we use Discord for our voice stuff. So we get together, hang out for a couple hours, fly all over the place. Yeah, Mike is saying he's going to wait to make the switch to 2024 when Microsoft and Asobo make him do it. Yeah, I think there are a lot of people out there that are in that same camp. It's just the hardware requirements for running 24 and getting some reasonable performance and experience out of it is it does require some push. And there are some occasions when I wished I had a 5090 graphics card, but this will do. I'll also be curious to see what other people have in terms of their hardware. I'm using an Alienware gaming PC. It's an RTX 5080 card with 64 gig of RAM. With the other usual accoutramentation. What I don't have is VR, so I'm still flat screening. And that's just, more Benjamins flying out the window. See how we're doing here. We ought to be pretty close to Caledonia, so we're probably a little bit more than a third of the way to Burlington. And again, I just connected the dots on the map. I guess we could do some valley flying, but this will be fine for today. Burlington approach. Good morning. Skyhawk, November 3 Alpha Zulu is with you. We'll be requesting clearance to land at Burlington.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, expect runway 33. Report 10 miles final.
Expecting runway 33, report 10 miles final, 123 Alpha Zulu. All right, so I went ahead and contacted Burlington departure, so we're good there. And both the Barron and the Bonanza are they're just a pleasure to fly. And I mentioned this in the Bonanza video that I did earlier. I did not buy into the hype. I really thought it was, pixie dust and and unicorn hair, but it turns out that it's actually really true. These two planes are excellent. They're a lot of fun. So I've been enjoying flying both of them and continuing to learn about how these work. The in-depth modeling of all of the systems is a whole lot of fun too, right? So it does keep you on your toes. You got to be ready to hit a breaker. And I think there's like a 300 or 400 page manual for both of these, so the documentation is quite extensive. Yeah, Mike, in the real world, I spent most of my time in a Cessna 172. Did fly a couple of other things as well, but that was really my main diet in terms of what I was flying. Did have a few hours in the Skymaster. I just didn't enjoy flying that plane. It was just so doggone loud. And I believe the other plane was a 172 RG. It had retractable gear. Of course, it's been a minute. The 152 is how I garnered my call sign from my flight instructor. And the air traffic controller at KGSO had a lot of fun with me with it too. And for those of you who are new to the channel, my bestowed call sign was Speed Racer. I think I may have recorded the fastest approach ever in a 152 at KGSO on runway 32. That has been a long time ago. We got some wind today. It's 313 at 24 knots. It's bouncing me around all over the place. Guess I could get back on track. Too busy running my mouth. Need to aviate instead of narrate. bet the nighttime views here are absolutely incredible. Out here away from some of the light pollution. We're making our way over to our top of descent. Yeah, Mike is saying in chat that he got a chance to fly, to ride in the Comanche once, and then many years later flying in the Sim. Yeah, that's one of the things that's really, really cool. Is it definitely will take you back to those things that our bodies won't let us do anymore. I think the most fun I had flying was probably in a Stearman. That was fun. I would put that right up against the flights that I was fortunate enough to take on a few air-to-air refueling missions out of Seymour Johnson. And I had the opportunity to be in the back of the aircraft with the boom operator. We were refueling A-10s. F-15s, F-16s. We departed Seymour Johnson and went right up the East Coast over the top of Norfolk, and there were a couple of aircraft carriers that were in port, and that was just an amazing sight for me to see. Oh yeah, there's nothing like having another pair of hands and eyes as you're flying, for sure. I had a good friend of mine that was a licensed commercial pilot. He also liked to jump out of airplanes too. So he was flying for one of the local skydive places here in the Carolinas for a bit. I used to love to tease him about never jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. But he was an adrenaline junkie. I just... lots of admiration for people who are willing and have the gumption to do it, but... Nah, I don't think so. That's not on my push my adrenaline button. Yeah, I think if I'm remembering correct, Mike, there's somebody on Virtual Flight Online that also is that does skydiving too. I think my friend was flying a Caravan. He's using that for his jumpers. All right, what seems like forever ago, we were advised expect runway 33, so we'll make our way across here. Well, we're probably about 25 nautical miles out now. Well, if you've made it this far with us, we'd love to have you as a channel subscriber. Please hit that like button and give us a subscribe. We do continue to grow at a steady rate. We are over 400 subscribers at the moment. Love to have you be a part of that if you're watching the replay or if you're watching it live. And I'm hosting a flight tomorrow over on Virtual Flight Online. We're doing some helicopter shenanigans in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. We're going to spend some time landing on some oil rigs out in the Gulf of Mexico. So looking forward to that. That's at 2000 UTC over on Virtual Flight Online's Discord. You are more than welcome to join us. We did a flight like this in the North Sea probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to doing this again. One of the things that I have fallen in love with since I started simming again is flying helicopters in the sim. And if you had said that to me, 2 years ago, I would have looked at you like you had 14 heads. But they are a lot of fun. And they come with their own challenge. So, if you do fly fixed and you have never tried the helicopter shenanigans, I wholeheartedly recommend it. One of my favorite things to do in the sim. I love flying the MH60. I'll usually strap myself into something with some Coast Guard colors and go tearing around the sky in it. And that's really why we started building some of the Coast Guard stations that we're working on. We actually have 2 that are underway. So. Yeah, Mike is saying he tried helicopters back in the day. In FSX. Yeah, I mean, it does take, I upgraded my my HOTUS and my flight stick. And that has made a tremendous difference too. So, again, when I start talking about Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, usually one of the first things that comes out of my mouth is be prepared to make a investment in additional hardware to have a positive experience. Yeah, so I like flying the MH60. Also, I'm rather fond of the Chinook as well. Anyway, it is a different experience. And I guess between Thanksgiving and Christmas, I also picked up the F-35. So that's also been new and fun and different. And short takeoff, landing, and then hover mode, and that is quite entertaining. So it's at least given me an excuse to get back and get some return on the investment I made on purchasing the Miltech carrier packs. So I need to do some more of that. I'm sure that everything that I learned about, you know, grabbing the wire is now out of my muscle memory. I'll have to reacquaint myself. I guess I'll have to re-achieve currency to be able to do that. And I also picked up the British carrier pack while it was on offer during the holidays too. So another reason why I wanted to pick up the F-35. All right, we are to the north of our navigational waypoint here. Start making our turn a bit more to the true west. The other thing that really impresses me with the BlackSquare, the sounds of the aircraft, they just sound good. And nope, not affiliated with BlackSquare. Paid for it with my own money. Likewise with Sayintentions.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, contact Burlington Tower on 118.3.
Contacting Burlington Tower on 118.3. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu. All right. Burlington Tower, good morning. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu. Type Beechcraft Barron, 3,650 feet. We are approximately 10 miles from the airport. We'll be requesting landing clearance on runway 36. I believe I had the runway right. If I didn't, they'll tell me.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, runway 36 not available. Active runways are 33 and 19er. Advise.
Burlington Tower, thank you for the clarification. Runway 33 would be our request.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, wind 010 at 3. Runway 33 cleared to land.
Wind 010 at 3, runway 33 clear to land. Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu. Alright, I guess we need to get busy. A little bit of a left turn here, get ourselves more appropriately situated for a run-in. Mike is asking, does anybody say get busy anymore? Occasionally that flies out of my mouth. Leave that at that. All right, this will get us on a good path over to the airfield. And we could intercept the ILS, but I'm not going to shoot an ILS approach. I'm just going to keep it visual here. And the wind does seem to be shifting around a fair bit and gusting. We'll start managing some airspeed away here. Altitude, I think, is reasonable. We'll continue our descent, make our way in. And ATC didn't give us any pattern instructions, so we're basically just going to make our way to a short right base for runway 33. Making good progress here. We'll land with a little bit of flap. We'll get our airspeed down a little more. Drop gear, drop flap. All right, gear coming down. And we'll have one notch of flap. Burlington Tower, Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, turning finals, runway 33. Okay, the peppy lights are saying hi. Looks like we've got 2 red, 2 white. And the picture looks okay. Another bunch of flaps here. They're a little high. Oh, looky, we have a A320 sitting on the runway. Well, obviously you wouldn't do this in the real world, but we are going to go ahead and roll. Oh, looks like it's taking off. That's funny. We're chasing him. Hey, you, get out of here. And obviously you wouldn't do this either because the wake turbulence would flip us over. All right, we are down. Welcome to Burlington.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, contact ground on 126.3.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu contacting ground on 126.3. I think ATC has a number they need to call.
Skyhawk 3 Alpha Zulu, say again.
Burlington Tower disregard. All right, I'm going to leave it here. I hope everybody has enjoyed the flight. This is leg number 2.
Disregard received.
Let's get out of the way of this engine jet before it runs over us. All right, if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the flight. We will be venturing from Burlington, Vermont. I have not picked the next destination on the trip, so we'll be doing that, and we'll continue to make our way to the west. I hope everybody is keeping well. I'm going to leave it here. Until next time, cheers, y'all.